Alright guys, the first goal today is going to be to review how to convert a percent into a decimal. So the rule is to convert a percent into a decimal, we divide by 100, or we move the decimal twice to the left. For example, in example A, 18% is, if you think about it, the decimal's here. If I move it twice to the left, I end up getting 0.18. So 18% is the same as saying 0.18. And guys, we could use this rule to convert all these questions here on this whole page of notes. However, what I found in the past is a lot of my students get the rules confused. So let me not use the rule here. And instead, let me have you guys think about, what does percent actually mean? So what root word do you see in percent? So look at percent. And hopefully you guys see that it has the word cent in it. If you think about the word cent, there are other words that have cent in it. For example, the word century has the word cent in it, and the word century means 100 years. Another example is going to be cents, the actual word cents. There are 100 cents in $1. So the word cent actually means 100. So when you guys see the word percent, you can think of it as the phrase per 100. And so guys, with that idea, I want you to think about the percents in terms of money. So for example, we know that 1 cent, we can write that as 0.01. You guys know about money, you use it all the time, so that should make sense to you. But 1 cent is like 1%. So they're the equivalent. And then to give you the other analogy, when you have $1, it's like having 1.00, so we know that also. But $1 is 100 cents, so $1 is the same as 100%. So with the money analogy, here's how I'd like you to think about percents to decimals. If you want to convert 18% to a decimal, think of it as having 18 pennies. So if 18% is like 18 pennies, or 18 cents, we know how to write that as a decimal just with money. That's going to be 0.18. That's 18 pennies when we talk about money, and that also is the decimal version of 18%. So with that, if I said convert 37% into a decimal, think about if you have 37 pennies or 37 cents, how would I write that? I would just write it as 0.37. Again, that's how you write money using decimals. Notice how I'm not using any rule to tell me what to do. I'm just thinking about the actual percent based on how it's built. And that's the way we're going to use to convert from percents to decimals. So if we try one more, what about 5%? Again, think about 5% as having 5 pennies or 5 cents. If you had 5 cents, you'd write that as 0.05. Again, in terms of money, that's how you'd write 5 cents. So I cannot use a rule and just think about the structure of the problem. But if you want to see the rule in action just one more time, with 5%, if I do use the rule, I do go back twice, which gives me my 0.05. So you can see that it's still the same if I apply the rule that you learned in the past. Now, a percent and decimal are not like terms. So to combine, you must first convert the percent into a decimal. So when you have something like 1 plus 11%, think of it as having $1 plus 11 pennies. So $1 plus 11 cents or 11 pennies is the same as saying 1 plus 0.11, which is just going to be $1.11. Again, think about this in terms of money. 1 plus 11 cents in money is just 1.11. Now in terms of subtraction, it's the same idea. So if I said, what's 1 minus 3%? It's like me saying if I have $1 and I take away 3 pennies, then I'm going to have 97 cents left over in change. Okay, notice how I think of it as money, and it should hopefully make more sense.